I stayed at home doing nothing.
Imagine admitting that. Yeah, for 2 years of my life, I did nothing. What? Are any of you guys allergic to something? Because I'm not. And honestly, I wouldn't want to be. It sounds horrible. So I can't quite understand what it's like to be allergic to something and have an allergic reaction. I've watched so many gacha videos in my time that I kind of have an idea about it. And then I saw this video. I'm allergic to touch. Now this kind of reminded me of a gacha story I read with my friend. And so I thought, how about I watch this and see what it's all about? Because it sounds ridiculous. Allergic to touching people? What? How can this be true? Let's watch it. Okay, lady, tell me how you allergic.
Hey, I'm Christine, and my classmates have always been scared of me.
She does look kind of terrifying. I don't know if it's maybe the eyes. She, for some reason, is in a different animation style to her friends. That's probably why they're terrified of her.
It's not because I'm a bully, but it's because of my skin disease. My body parts are often swollen and covered in bruises. That's why many kids called me the Blue Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, that is mean.
The only person who defended me was Paul. He didn't mind how I looked, and that's why he asked me to become his girlfriend.
Oh, what a cute relationship story. Also, Paul has similar eyes to her, so they can go along and have their weird colored eye babies together. But wait a second, he's literally touching her right there in this shot.
Of course I said yes, but there was one problem: his parents. When they saw my skin all swollen and blue, they thought I was a freak and asked, "What's wrong with you?"
Ooh.
I said I have skin disease called chronic idiopathic hives, and whenever someone or something touches me, I'll have an allergic-like reaction to it. But don't worry, it's not contagious.
Oof. That mother looks terrified. She's like,
Please get away from me and my family.
His mom responded, "My son won't date a freak like you. He deserves a pretty girl that won't embarrass him in public."
wow. Straight savage mother. Well, I've never actually dealt with someone so rude in my life, so I wouldn't know what to respond to that. I'd probably just cry.
Her words hit me like a slap in the face, but Paul came to my defense and screamed, "Mom, you're so fat. Why don't you care about your own problems first?"
Yes, go
When
Paul.
we got into Paul's room, he said, "I don't care about my parents' opinion. I love you, and that's all that matters." And of course, I loved Paul back. But the next time his mom saw me, she asked, "If you have kids, will they look as monstrous as you?"
Why is she so mean? She ain't no supermodel herself.
Then she put her finger on my forehead and pushed me back.
Oh gosh, yeah, she really is allergic to touch. She's now got a thumbprint mark on her head.
A few minutes later, I was left with a small bruise that stayed for several days. Of course, I was too scared to go back to Paul's home. Instead, we started seeing each other inside a forest next to our school. There we had total privacy and could do whatever we wanted. We often kissed so much that my lips turned blue.
Oh, girl, what are they? Your lips look like two touching hot dogs. That makes me feel sick.
We were as happy as one could be, until Paul told me that his parents were sending him away to live with his aunt in a different state.
Why? Why would they do that? Do they maybe not want him to continue dating this blue swollen girl? That's so mean. Let her live her life.
My heart broke into a million pieces. I've been so sure we would stay together forever, but that was just a teenage dream. Paul said, "You know I love you. I always will. But it's not worth it. My parents make my life hell because I'm dating you, and it's better if we just break up."
I'm about to go cry. This is real sad. As if his parents are sending him away.
I responded, "It's okay, and I hope you will be happy in your new life." I tried to not look sad because I didn't want to make it harder for him. But after he said goodbye, I sat down under a tree and cried late into the night.
Wow, look at her arms. That is crazy.
I knew if it wasn't for my skin disease, Paul and I would have stayed a couple. But life isn't always fair.
1 like equals 1 prayer, guys. If you are sad right now about this relationship, leave a like on the video. Let's leave a like to support them. Support their love.
And after Paul was gone, the other kids in school started making fun of me again. I
Oh.
was so happy when I finally graduated. I wanted to start all over, and that's why I moved to New York. There I studied economics for 3 years and even dated a new guy. But whenever
Woohoo.
my skin had a strong allergic reaction, I could see the disgust in his face.
Why are people so mean to this girl? Can she not catch a break? Even her boyfriend thinks that her skin is weird. Poor girl. Sis, I'm here for you if you need me.
One night we slept next to each other, and while I was sleeping...
Oh my! You can tell this guy about to play a trick on her when his face turns into the literal Joker.
He wrote his name into my skin with his fingernail. It wasn't long before it was swollen so much that I woke up. I wanted to scream when I looked into a mirror and saw what he'd done.
That is so weird. What would keep you up at night thinking I'm about to write into my girlfriend's arm? So weird.
He thought it was funny, but I didn't. So I broke up with
Yeah,
him and
kick
tried
him
to focus
out.
more on college. But studying was never easy. Some days my body was completely covered in hives, bruises and swellings. They were itching so much that all I could do was lie in bed and cry. I barely graduated,
That's so
but
sad.
still managed to get a job at an investment bank. It paid $40,000 a year, which wasn't much, but barely enough for New York.
$40,000 is not enough. Jeez. Also, shout out to Pineapple. Best laptops around.
It paid $40,000 a year, which wasn't much, but barely enough for New York. Unfortunately, my skin disease got so bad that I couldn't go to work anymore and got fired. That was the darkest
Jeez.
moment of my life. My skin was hurting like hell, and I'd lost my job. I was about to give up on life.
Damn, she is absolutely covered head to toe in these things. That must suck.
I was about to give up on life, so instead of finding a new job, I moved into a homeless shelter. All I did was lie in bed, depressed and scratching my skin. Finally, I wondered, is there anything I want to do before I die? The answer was yes. I wanted to see Paul one last time.
Who is his friend in the background? I'm really concerned about everybody in this car because that guy looks terrifying.
I wanted to see if he was happy, so I tracked him down and found out that he was working for a consultancy firm in Washington.
Can someone explain to me, how did she track him down? She really used GPStracker.com? Is this a real website? It is, but it changes it to something else. It's not even a real website. Is this story even real?
So I tracked him down and found out that he was working for a consultancy firm in Washington. Then I took a bus and went to surprise him. Of course, I was nervous about meeting him again. He'd done well in life, but I'd failed at everything. I was afraid of his judgment, but I was also desperate to see him again.
Girl is crazy, traveling across the country to meet an ex-boyfriend.
So I waited in front of his office building. When he came out and saw me, he cried, "Oh my God, Christine! It's so nice to see you. How are you doing?" I said, "I'm good. I just wanted to catch up with an old friend."
I bet that was so shocking to him. Imagine walking out of your workplace and someone you haven't seen in years is there, waiting for you. Randomly, no pre-warning. I would die of shock.
Old friend. He said, "Sure," and we went to a restaurant. There he told me about his job and how he had to work 80 hours a week.
Wow.
But when he asked me how I was doing, I blushed and looked away. He said, "Come on, I'm your friend. You can tell me anything." So I told him how I got fired and lived in a homeless shelter because of my skin condition. I even told him I was depressed and rarely got out of bed. He said, "I'm really sorry. I'd let you live at my place, but I have a girlfriend and she wouldn't like it."
I haven't seen you in years, but yeah, you could have moved in. But I have a girlfriend, sorry. What? This doesn't make any sense. You guys left on bad terms.
My heart dropped, but I played it cool and said, "No problem. I'll just move back in with my parents." When we said goodbye to each other, I had tears in my eyes. It was so nice to see Paul again.
I'm just laughing at the fact that his picture has turned into this anime god in her thoughts. This is what he looks like to her. I don't know why his hand is so crazy big, but it is.
I still loved him as much as the day we broke up. In another life, we would have gotten married and lived happily ever after. But that wasn't my destiny. I ended up moving back into my mom's home. Her and Dad had just gotten divorced, and she was happy to have some company.
That's pretty cool. Mom has pink hair too.
But just a few days later, I got a message from Paul that said, "Hey Christine, when I saw you last week, all my feelings for you came back.
Oh,
I can't stop
what?
thinking about you. I just broke up with my girlfriend, and I'd love you to come back to Washington.
Shock move there. I wasn't expecting this.
You can move in here right now." Wow, my head spun around. It felt like a gift from God. A little hope in a hopeless life. I immediately drove back to Washington, and when I saw Paul, we gently fell into each other's arms.
Her lips and her hands are already turning. She's literally just touched him. Oh dear.
Kissing passionately for ages. It felt like we were teenagers again, making out in the forest while we hid from his parents. Life was good again.
This is
I
crazy.
felt
What the heck?
motivated and found another job, but my chronic idiopathic
Wait, she has 3 fingers?
hives flared up again, and the pain kept me awake at night, so I barely ever got any sleep. When I got fired from my job again, I felt so
Fired
ashamed.
again,
But Paul said,
jeez. Catch a
"Don't
break,
worry,
girl.
it's not your fault, and I'm making enough money to take care of both of us." Well, that was our life for the next 2 years. I stayed at home doing nothing, while Paul worked long hours.
I stayed at home doing nothing. Imagine admitting that. Yeah, for 2 years of my life, I did nothing. What?
But then I got pregnant and everything changed.
Uh-oh.
At first, Paul was super happy and screamed, "We're going to be parents! This is the best day ever!" But I wasn't sure. I felt like Paul deserved someone better than me. Even though he seemed happy, I felt I was holding him back.
Oh dear, she has a baby. Is she gonna be allowed to touch it? Or is it just gonna make her worse? Also, will the baby be allergic to touch?
And the next day, Paul went on his knees in front of me and got out an engagement
Oh,
ring. He
cute.
said, "Christine, will you marry me?" I started crying and said, "I can't. You deserve someone better than me. I'm a mess."
Shock horror, is she rejecting him? What?
He responded, "I don't care. I love you and I don't want any other girl." So in the end, I agreed and said, "Yes, I want to marry you." But then came the hard part. We had to tell his parents about our engagement.
Oh dear.
He called
Not
them up and
good.
said,
They're gonna
"Hey,
be mad.
you remember the girl I was dating in high school?"
The mum is gonna hate this. She already hates her so much. Oh no.
His mom responded, "The freak with the skin problems?" Paul said, "Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that we're engaged now."
He must really not like his mum, because the way he broke that to her was savage.
His mom was quiet for
The
a few
tea
seconds.
has been
And
spilled.
then she started crying and screamed, "No, no, you deserve better than her." Wow, she really hated me.
Ooh.
But Paul still arranged a dinner for us and his parents. Maybe we could work things out. His parents still didn't know I was pregnant. We wanted to tell them over dinner.
This is
But before we could
bad.
say anything, his
I
mom
don't like
said,
them.
"I have a surprise for you, Paul." And then a really gorgeous girl sat down at our table.
Who is
Paul's
this?
mom said, "This is Georgina. I want to ask her something. Georgina, do you think my son Paul is attractive?"
This can't be real. No way is this real. This just wouldn't happen. This is crazy. This mother is crazy.
Georgina responded, "Yes." Then his mom asked, "Would you date my son?" And she said, "Yes, I would love to date him."
What?
Tears were running down my cheeks. Georgina was so beautiful, I felt unworthy compared to her. But Paul got annoyed and asked Georgina to leave. Then he turned to his mom and said, "You are absolutely disgusting. Instead of welcoming my fiancé into our family, you're hurting her. How dare you? She's pregnant. You're going to be a grandmother." That's when his mom turned to me and screamed, "What have you done to my boy? Your child will be a monster just like you."
Oh my gosh. This is the worst family dinner in history.
But Paul had enough. He said, "Don't worry. You will never meet your
Paul
grandchild.
has snapped.
And this is also the last time you will see me." He stormed out and
Yes,
I followed
Paul.
him.
Get away
When we
from the
got home, I
toxic
told Paul
energy.
how sorry I was. I said, "I'm causing so much trouble in your life.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
This is your last chance to leave me. If you want another girl, just tell me. I will understand." But Paul responded, "I love you, and I will always love you." Then he gave me a soft kiss on my lips. Of course, that's what every girl wants to hear. But we soon learned that love isn't always enough. Because after I gave
Oh
birth to our
goodness,
daughter,
here it
Olivia,
comes.
the problems started. I was
Problems.
supposed to take care of her. But due to my depression, I couldn't get out of bed. So when I heard Olivia crying from another room, I didn't go check for her.
Why did this get real sad again? No! Stop with the sadness.
Paul didn't realize how terrible of a mother I was. Until one day, he came home from work and found our baby screaming
Oh
on the
my
ground with
gosh.
marks all over her face. She probably fell down the
What?
stairs, and this was the first time I'd seen Paul angry at me. He screamed, "You are a terrible mother." And of course, he was right. But I was
What
so
the
depressed.
heck?
I didn't even respond
This is
to him.
ridiculous.
Right now, all I do is watch YouTube and hope that my skin condition will get better someday. The pain is unbearable and ruining my life.
And that's how the story ends? Where was the happy ending? Where was the joy and the cheering and the yays? We've been left with the sad and the oh dear. That was such a strange video.